The entryway was a heavy contrast from the hot sunlight and deep shadows. Who are you? I can't recall. Oh, we'll find out now anyway, I guess. Waiting there, looking uncomfortably warm, was a middle-aged man, his tie softly loosened and his jacket tucked beneath his arm. Are you Maibara-san? Keiichi Maibara? There was no question that he wasn't a resident of Hinamizawa, and that this was without a doubt the first time he had seen me, or met me even. Ever since I met Tomitaki-san, I've been running into so many middle-aged men. Damn, there's so many of them. That's right. Who might you be? I have the AC on in my car, let's talk there. It's a bit hot, don't you think? Man, he really doesn't like the heat, does he? The man completely ignoring my question pointed over to his car near the gate and began walking. You've got to be kidding me. I have no intention of going along with some geese I don't even know, and he was asking me to get in his car with him? Maybe we just stay out, like, don't go into the car. He sits in the car, that's fine, but we don't actually enter the car. I'm not going to bite. Come on now. He opened the back door to his car and called me over. I didn't like this old man, but I wanted to know what this was about. Even while knowing that conversations that start out like this have never led to anything good. Oh, we're in this alright car, I guess. The inside of his car was pretty cool. Cars with air conditioners were supposed to be a luxury. My dad didn't have one in his car at the very least. Let me know if it's too cold for you, okay? I have a habit of cranking it all the way up. So what business do you have with me? Out of spite, I decided to ignore his remark in the same way he did to me and started my own line of questioning. He pulled out a notepad from his pocket and took out a picture that was stuck between the pages. On it was a face of a pretty goofy looking guy. If you know anything related to this individual, then please tell me. Who the heck is this? I doubt even his close friends would be able to recognize who he was from this expressionless picture that was taken, that looked like it was taken at the DMV. There were scribbles on his shirt, done in permanent marker. Start with yours, Maibara-san. There were scribbles on his shirt done in permanent marker. Start with yours, Maibara-san, and quite a few of your classmates signed as well. Huh? This is Tomitaki-san? There was no hint of his usual unreliable and easygoing personality in this photo. There was an it was an expressionless, half-asleep face. Then, do you know this woman? Even before seeing it, I had a good idea of who it was. I don't remember her name, but she's some lady who was with Tomitaki-san last night. I didn't know what her name was, but I know she was a resident of Hinamizawa. Then, when was the last time you saw these two? The night of the Watanagashi we spoke? They seem pretty close, I guess. Did anything bother you about them? Anything is fine. Go ahead and say it. Being asked for every detail is very troubling, honestly. I had a pretty good idea who this guy was by now. Did something happen to them? There was no response to my inquiry. Thus I replied to that silence in kind. I was pretty sure, no, certain, that this guy was a cop. Then why? Why was he asking about Tomitaki-san? Did something happen to him? More importantly, why me? Shouldn't there have been plenty of other people who knew more about him than I did? The roar of the air conditioner felt unbearably loud. After a long pause, he finally spoke again. You've moved here just recently, isn't that right, Maibara-san? Are you aware, I wonder, about the stories of Oyashiro-sama? My heart began to race. I'm pretty terrible at hiding things. It probably showed on my face. Not at all? If you don't, then that's fine. Well, I have heard of it. Tomitaki-san told me, actually. How much do you know about it? The dismemberment killing, the accidental death, the death by illness followed by suicide, and the lady who was beaten to death. The incidents that will always happen on the day of the Watanagashi, ending in suspicious deaths. I didn't think Tomitaki-san would have kept anything from me. I think that was everything. No, rather, I didn't want to think there was anything more than that. Do you know of that? Well, curse Maibara-san. Feel free to speak openly about it. I don't believe in it. My answer was instant. It wasn't so much I didn't believe in it as I was on the verge of It wasn't so much that I didn't believe in it as I was on the verge of believing. I wanted to clear away my own doubts. That was the more prominent feeling. Really? Then that's great. Guess you really are one of those city-raised boys. So what if I don't believe? I have friends waiting. Could you get to the point? The man in this picture is dead. My mind went blank. Huh? What happened to Tomitaki-san? It would seem that he died last night. That was the night of the Watanagashi. Do you understand the implications behind that, Maibara-san? Implications? Not any for the cause of his death or the reasons behind it. The real problem was that he died on the day of the Watanagashi. Meaning, this year, the curse of Oyashiro-sama had once again. The death of Jiro Tomitaki is still confidential. You can understand why that is, right? I didn't want to understand why. Please, tell me. Tell me what happened. It was rather peculiar. It might be a little too graphic for someone born and raised in Hinamizawa. It was a roundabout way of saying it, but it could cause me to doubt whether or not I wanted to hear it. I would only regret forcing myself to learn of something I shouldn't. Or at least, that's how I figured I would feel if I listened to the rest. One of our patrol cars discovered the body on the way back from security detail at the festival. It was late, about 5 till midnight. The location was, you know the road into town becomes paved, right? Down past the slope on the shoulder, around there. There were a few streetlights on that road. Its pitch black darkness was only broken by the lights of passing cars and the moon. It was a stroke of luck that Tomitaki-san was about to collapse on the shoulder of the road. Tomitaki-san was face down, covered in blood. Blood and muck covered the asphalt. We thought it was a hit and run at first, but when the officer checked to see if he was still alive, he quickly noticed something abnormal. His throat had been ripped open. From a knife or something? No. Nails. Nails? As in fingernails? With those he clawed through? And the coroner's report, it revealed that it was with his own nails. What does that mean? Basically, it means it wasn't a murder, it was a suicide. Tomitaki-san thought there was a reason to tear open his own throat, as hard as he could with his own nails. Tore through the skin until he started to bleed. And even then, Tomitaki-san didn't stop. He continued clawing, with enough intensity that it could have peeled off his nails, still clawing. Then, as his nails reached those vital arteries that you should never damage, he continued clawing. Blood splattered on the ground around him. As he bled, while gasping for air. He collapsed, his body spasmed, and he died in agony. We thought drugs were to be blamed, but nothing of that nature was detected. But it was a suicide? Never have I heard such a thing. This unnatural way of dying. If this wasn't a mysterious death, then what was it? The way he died. In those 5 years, his death most resembled that of a curse. As if to show both myself and Tomitaki-san, who proclaimed there was no such thing as a curse, that we were wrong. There was a few more suspicious details. From his body chemistry, perspiration, elipsion, and so on, we conclude that he was in a state of hysteria right before his death. That was a given. It's hard to believe someone would in a sound state of mind while clawing out their throat. Wounds on his hands match a discarded piece of lumber found nearby. There are traces of where he struck trees and guardrails within. Tomitaki's blood was found all over the place, meaning that while tearing at his own throat he was swinging around a piece of lumber. There were external injuries, which were not self-inflicted, discovered on Tomitaki-san. There was a high probability Tomitaki-san was assaulted. The external injury suggests there may be multiple suspects. To summarize, Tomitaki-san was surrounded and attacked. While wandering the night roads in a state of panic after being cornered, he picked up a piece of lumber and tried fighting back. Somewhere in there, he began madly tearing at his own throat, clawing at it. Then he died. The presumed time of death was around 9:23 PM, meaning it occurred right after you finished talking to Tomitaki-san at the festival. Everyone signed Tomitaki-san's shirt, then parted ways. Right after that. Oh yeah, he should have been with a woman. What about her? She's missing. She hasn't shown up to work and hasn't returned home either. There's a very high probability that she was involved in this incident. For a while, I could only gaze off into space. I would never have thought that something unfortunate happening to someone close to me would affect me this deeply. The time I had spent with Tomitaki-san was short, but we went to the same festival, spent time together, and took part in the same competition. He was one of us. We have been continuing the investigation on various fronts, but when it comes to the Oyashiro-sama's curse, the villagers here aren't very cooperative. That I knew well. I would have been none the wiser if not for Tomitaki-san, the outsider, telling me. So that's why you came to me? Because I'm not originally from Hinamizawa? I should have been angry that was the reason he wanted to hear what happened from me. If things go the way they have been, then the conclusion would be that Jiro Tomitaki died from Oyashiro-sama's curse. He turned away from me and gazed off far into the distance. The night of Watanagashi, during that sacred ritual, he cautiously snapped off photos, angering Oyashiro-sama. That's how it's going to turn out. There's no way Oyashiro-sama would inflict divine punishment on Tomitaki-san. Tomitaki-san had to have been killed by humans, and a cowardly group no less. There's no way I'm going to let this end up being the fault of some curse. I think so as well. There's no such thing as divine punishment or curses. The tense mood was cut with the man's hearty laugh. That's how this must be, my Mara-san. Cooperation from individuals in Hinamizawa who don't believe in the curses is indispensable. Understand now? Neither Tomitaki-san nor I believed in curses, but with the way things were going, it would just end up with Tomitaki-san's death back in the 5th year, which would mean that Hinamizawa had rejected Tomitaki-san. That was something I couldn't allow. Tomitaki-san was one of us. He didn't live in Hinamizawa, but he came every year. In a sense, he was more of a resident than I was. There was no way that Tomitake-san could have been cursed by Oyashiro-sama. But there's nothing I can do to help. I have no idea what happened that night either. No, if you see or hear anything that draws your attention, then that is enough. If I see or hear, he was talking in the future tense. Things or people or rumours, anything is fine. I don't care if they're unfounded. Here, this is my number. If I'm not there, then just leave a message with whoever picks up. He handed me a piece of paper with his number on it, but I hesitated for a second. If I took it, then whether I wanted to or not, I'd be mirrored knee-deep in this matter. Please, help me solve these questions surrounding Tomitake-san's unfortunate death. That's right. Why was I hesitating? I needed to find out the murderer who killed my friend. I snatched up the piece of paper as a satisfied grin spread across his face. Everything we spoke of today is a secret. Please keep this confidential. Understood. From your friends as well. Especially from Sonozaki-san and Furude-san. Please do not inform them. Sonozaki? You mean Mion? Why? Are you saying they could have something to do with the incident? If my friend's name brought up so abruptly, and being told to keep it a secret from them, I became rather angry. So this is what they call investigative privilege, I suppose. Don't play games with me. Mion is a close friend of mine. I snapped at him, but he didn't seem to especially be offended. I wouldn't mind telling you, but it may just upset you. Say it. He hesitated a little. Turning his gaze to the outside of the car, he began to speak after thinking for a bit. There is a possibility that the strings of incidents happening here in Hinamizawa are a result of a village conspiracy. There's no way that could be right. Give me a break. First of all, is there any proof of that? No evidence. Also, each of the cases were resolved, and none of the perpetrators had any direct connection to the village. Then, how did you come to that conclusion? Every year, the enemies of the village die on the day of the Watanagashi. Don't you think that's enough reason to suspect something? Only the residents of Hinamizawa felt that day of the Watanagashi was sacred. So basically, because incidences happened on that day, it was somehow related to Hinamizawa. First of all, it was the down construction foreman. Then it was a villager that supported it. Those the village hold a grudge against die after the other from mysterious causes. The means are different, but in the end the result is the same. Unfounded, unreasonable suspicion. But it couldn't just be shrugged off. So the victims after that, what about the Shinto priest and his wife, Steph? Well, they weren't the enemy of the village. They weren't the enemies of the village. The villagers had suspected leadership from the Shinto priest at the time of the dam dispute, but he wasn't proactive, so there was a faction of villagers who harboured ill will towards him as a result. Really? Really? Because he didn't do anything? Ill will? It's not like he did anything bad to the village, but he didn't do anything good. I guess that's the reasoning was, and people are petty over the small things. What about that housewife after that? Did she die just because she was the wife or the brother of a supporter? That's such a trivial reason to kill someone. And what about Tomitake-san? He's not affiliated with the dam project at all. He was killed just because he was an outsider? In the beginning, it fell on those related to the dam project, but as the years went on, the enemy threshold of the victims became much lower. Now, that's the scary part. Bar keeps getting lower. What's scary about that? It means it's not just enemies of the village anymore. Just being an outsider is reason enough. Then, next year's victim, they're just going to be picked out of the villager outsider pool. It might be a person that just moved here. What do you mean by I swallowed my words. Here in Hinamizawa, the ones who would be considered the most outside would be my family. I was proof enough of that, wasn't I? I still couldn't really remember the names of the people I passed by. Then the next victims, my family. Was he saying it was going to be me? But what does that have to do with Mion? I can't go into details, but the Sonozaki family led the dam protests, quite fervently so. It's also true that Mion Sonozaki-san herself, she has quite a few misdemeanor and obstruction of public work offences on her record because of the protests. I knew Mion knew what it meant to fight, but this was the first time I heard her family leading the protests though. Well then, what did it all mean? Are you saying that Mion's family is involved with this string of incidents? I wouldn't go that far. I'm just saying that if it was a conspiracy, then they'd have the highest probability of being behind it. Not a very clear explanation. It felt like he magnificently avoided the details I really wanted to know. We didn't know who or how involved anyone is right now. That is exactly why I don't want to say anything to the villagers. Instead of answering, I gave a very bitter expression. It seemed that he understood it very well. Then, think of it like this. I don't want to worry the villagers who blindly believe it's a curse. How about that? What do you mean, how about that? How should I know? The reasoning behind wanting me to not carelessly open my mouth about it wasn't too hard to comprehend. The perpetrator was here. It had nothing to do with a curse. He was definitely going to be caught by the police and made to pay for his crimes, and none of the villagers should have anything to do with that process. It may cause those sensitive about the curse to worry needlessly, just like everyone kept it from me, so I wouldn't worry about it. Is it now my turn to keep it from them so they don't have to worry? I was just talking to myself. Unlike me, everyone had been worrying over these mysterious incidents yearly, and the incident this time probably means a lot more to them. I didn't want to burden them anymore. In the end, everything went as the man wanted, as insipid as it was, but couldn't be helped. I understand. I'll keep it to myself. Is that fine, Mr. Oshi, is it? Oshi from the Okinomiya police station. You can call me Kura-chan if you want. No thanks. Oishi-san is fine. The way he said it was unpleasant, yet retained the hint of politeness. He was just a splitting image of a vulgar police officer. Though, I never see one this bulky before in the cop shows I watch. It's the reality of it all. I've taken too much of your time. Your friends are waiting, aren't they? I should probably let you go back to them. And with that, we're done. The door opened with a click and streamed the oppressive heat. It was blistering outside the car. Was it really this hot of a day? No, you got super chilled out from the AC. It was an almost cruel heat, as opposed to the mechanical coolness inside the car. It was as if the land of Hinamizawa itself suddenly hated me. I felt a little sad as that thought crossed my mind. I didn't mean to suspect your friends. Please don't misunderstand that. I refrained from telling him that it was too late to say something that self-serving. It's fine if you don't see or hear anything, Maibara-san. There was enough proof that the village is not involved. I'll contact you if I hear or see anything, but I'm not a detective. Please don't expect too much from me. I won't. You don't have to become a detective. Just go on living as you have up until now. Just let me know if you notice anything. I hastily made my way back to the school building after giving him a quick bow. See you later, Maibara-kun. I returned to the school building without looking back. I don't know how much time had passed. I did feel bad for keeping them waiting, but right now there was a lot on my mind. Tomitake-san's death was hard enough as it was, but to think that there was the possibility of a village conspiracy? Worse still, there was also a chance that Mion was involved? Nonsense! Impossible, not Mion, Rena, Sakato or Rika-chan. It was a group that attacked Tomitake-san. Who could the perpetrators be? Could it be they were hiding here somewhere in Hinamizawa? I didn't know. All I could say for certain was that I knew that Mion couldn't be the perpetrator. It's Mi-chan! The perpetrator! Huh? I was startled to hear Rena's voice. With the rope and lounge. Nope. No. And I clutched her head while flailing around. Looks like you're just self-destructing over there. Wow. Katie-san, you're quite late. As you may well know, I'm seething with anger. Sorry about that. I was called to the staff room, you see. You were reprimanded for bad behaviour? That's a shame. Well, it's been pretty heated over here. Since it's been getting pretty late, we'll make the next game the last one. If I remember right, I had 0 points. Isn't it pretty much decided I'm going to be finishing in last place? Don't worry, Keiichi-kun. I'm at -1 points. The heck? The score is lower than mine. I wasn't even playing. This is the final match to decide if the penalty is going to be done by Rena alone or by both Kei-chan and Rena. Yeah, right. Just let Rena do the penalty by herself. We made a promise, Keiichi-kun, that we would both win. I waited all this time, you know. I'm sorry about that. I followed my initial plan of showing Rena my cards, but I didn't say who was the criminal. I just waited for her to call. I've got it! The murderer is me, with the poison at the entrance. Is it? My Rena, quite a quick answer. Another stab in the dark. Oh. Rena's correct. Then it's decided that Keiichi shall take part in the penalty as well. Hooray! Keiichi-kun, let's both do our best. Yeah, let's do our best. It's my fault, so I have no choice. Then that's game. It's me, Mion Sonozaki, ranked first. In dead last are Keiichi Maibara and Rena Ruga. Everyone applauded and the game ended. The problem now was the penalty. Now then, I ranked first, so I'll decide what you'll be buying for the gopher penalty. What will she make us buy, I wonder? Let's blacklist the drugstore. That was your aim, wasn't it? Huh? I don't have any business at the drugstore. This old man's already got a list prepared for you on this piece of paper. What? There's a lot written here. A lot? Damn, what is she making us buy? See, on YouTube, you just make them buy a lot of stuff. 2 blocks of tofu, shampoo and conditioner, apple vinegar and fried tofu. The heck is this? It looks more like a shopping list than a penalty. Me was certainly going to win today. Rule 7 of our society. Wait, there's 7 rules? You cannot refuse any penalty. Here's some money. The shampoo I usually get is Fruit Fable. Cheers, thanks. This is just your grocery list. I promised myself that if I win next time, I'll make her buy hemorrhoid cream. I knew it was just gonna be buying like various stuff from the store. Not just that one, not just an embarrassing product, just a lot of stuff in one go. You have received more tips. There are more than 4 perpetrators. Search notice. Okay. Got the achievement, not a clue. No idea what that's for, so let's save here.